Welcome back to another episode of the Wet Whistle Podcast. Today is Saturday, October 10th, 8th. Jesus Christ.
Oh, Jesus, here we go. Fucking up already.
Today is Saturday, October 10th. 8th. The reason I'm saying 10 is because I see the 10, the
Okay.
8th, and we're here to talk about sports. We got a lot of things to get to this week. We weren't here last week, so we didn't get to do our little MLB preview, so we're going to talk about some of the things that have already happened. As always, we're going to do our NFL picks. Right now, me and Mark are tied, so hopefully next week we're not, so someone can sit here and brag a little bit.
We might have to make a bet.
Might
We
have
might
to.
have to.
I don't think it should
Maybe,
be a bet. I think it should be loser has to do something that they don't want to do.
but yeah, and I also don't like the end of game bet. I think we should do like a halfway bet and then an end. So we'll do two bets, like a halfway. Well, it's kind of close to halfway, but we'll just pick a game and then we'll figure it out. But I just think end of game is too long, or end of season is too long. So
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. Don't worry about it.
yeah. If we do a half one too, the half one can't be as bad as the full length of season. Loser has to do something that they don't want
Yeah,
to do.
so like $5,000 and $10,000. I
No,
wish.
like you have to be like for me, like I know what would be bad for you. I'd be like, Mark, we're going to see the Empire State Building, and Mark would be like, oh.
I have a good idea.
And then for me, it'd be like some public speaking of some sort, or I
I have
think
a
that'd
good
be a
idea
good one for Mark
because
too.
one of the one of the things that we always talked about when we made this podcast is how we want to dress up as refs. And like obviously since Halloween's coming up, actually that might be a good idea. So the week before Halloween, so it's the 8th. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll tally and then whoever's winning is the person who has to wear the ref outfit
What if
for
I wanted to wear a rough outfit?
if you want to, then
I
that's
have to start
fine.
losing now.
I'm gonna tell my girlfriend Asia and be like, I'm gonna go and record the podcast in a full fucking ref outfit.
No, you're like,
She's
all
gonna
right,
be
hey
like,
babe, I'll be right back in a few hours. She's like, all right, and then she looks up and she's like, was he just
I'm
in a
running
ref
upstairs in a ref
uniform?
outfit.
Did I just hear a whistle? I think I just
Oh
heard a whistle.
man,
I don't know what they're doing up there.
dude, shit's popping off. I'll tell you that much. But we'll figure that out during this week. We'll talk about it, and then we'll come back with what bets we have planned.
All right, so yeah, and then you had some things you wanted to talk about too. So we have a full slate of things. What did you want to start with? Do you want to just talk about the baseball stuff, get it out of the way?
I think that this time of year, I think that people are mostly interested in football. So I say we start with football, NFL, and then follow it up with college, and then we'll end with the baseball stuff. I know it's playoffs, but um, I think that's the way we should go. I think we should start
Sounds
with
like a plan.
football, and then
Hey, give me the reins and I'll take the horse wherever you want me to take it.
yes, sir.
All right, so we are going to make our picks. We did this during the first episode just to give you guys a little taste. So me and Mark made our picks week something or rather, and we both went 5-8. 5-8, and that was discluding, which it will be again, discluding the Thursday night football game because it already happened and we didn't pick it. Next week, we'll also be discluding the Thursday night football game because it will
Yeah.
have already happened. Maybe we'll make some picks on a personal level and we'll talk about it, but other than that,
Keep in mind that when you're listening to the pod and you say, okay, Scott's 20 and 25 and Mark is 18 and whatever, like that's our score. We might like because for example, last week we had some IRL stuff go on and we missed it a week. So there may be a time that we missed an episode or whatever happens. So whatever score we tell you, it might be missing a couple of games. It's just for me and him, the account that him and I are taking. So
right, right.
just keep that in mind going
Don't
forward.
use this line or these bets to go make yourselves any money because you won't. Or
You definitely won't.
it's not that you won't; it's that you could be like, "Oh, I like that bet," and then you go and look, and the line is different when you. Yeah, we rescued a pup today. Drove 6 hours to get it.
Yeah, which at first I'm like, really, bro? But then once I saw a picture of the puppy, I'm like, all right, yeah, I'd probably drive 6 hours for that fucking stud too.
Yeah, easy. I would have
He's
driven
eight
six
months.
hours for an ugly dog. This one's cute. Too. It
Hey,
was a bonus.
it was definitely a bonus, 100%.
Uh, let's just say I've driven 6 hours for some ugly chicks. All right, so I get to pick up a
Hello.
dog that I'm living the rest of my life with, or his life with.
Yeah,
It's
what
not
a
really
stud. What a stud.
not a problem for me. But anyways, let's start this off. Let me pull up my little sheet here, and we are on week 5. That's fucking flying
It's
by. As
one thing that
always,
one thing, Scott, before you start, I'm sorry to cut you off, is
no, you're
that
good.
I don't know if you guys listened to the first episode, but the first episode, we were just trying to get a feel of what we wanted to do for the podcast.
Wait, look at this.
What-
My dog sees himself in the mirror right now, dude.
Yeah, he's like, who the hell is that? Where the
He's
hell am
like,
I?
wait, you have another dog?
Dude, that shit is so funny. Just seeing him get acclimated to it's gonna take him a while to get used to where he's at.
Dude, you should have seen him roll up to the mirror. He's like, walks up, sees the mirror. He's like,
Yeah, that's like my 2-month-old daughter. I had her staring at herself in the phone. It was the funniest shit ever. She was smiling at herself. Oh my god. But anyways, the first episode that we did last week, we were just trying to get a gauge on what we wanted to do, how we wanted the show to go. You'll notice that we have banter. We're goofy, whatever. We don't want to be like a stats serious podcast, but at the same time, we don't want to be like spitballing like we were last time. We want to get more in depth this week, so you'll definitely see that we do have some stats, and we are going to talk about a little stuff, but we're not that serious. We're just here to have fun. We're not fucking professionals or anything. We want you guys to like us for our vibe, our personalities, and we'll have our friends come on. You'll see how goofy and crazy we get. But yeah, I just wanted to say that going forward, we're still evolving the show. We're still figuring out what the show is. We just got a logo, so make sure to check that out and follow us on Twitter at Wet Whistles Pod. And you guys will be able to see the logo on Spotify, on the Twitter, and just get updates there.
hell yeah. Well said. All right, so we are going to start off in sunny, not so sunny, rainy London. We got the Giants and the Packers, and this is the first time we're sending 2 teams with winning records to London.
London, bro. So do people travel to that? Like the people? Yeah.
Wait,
I
you
mean,
mean like the Green Bay fans? Oh yeah.
I mean, that would be a good excuse. Imagine like
London,
Scott, let's go to London. Let's we'll go a week before or whatever, and then we'll finish it out with the game. Like that would be cool.
So you got Green Bay favored by -8 in that one. Now I will take the Giants for that because, dude, the Giants have been playing well. They're in London. Give me the Giants +8.
Giants. See, the thing about the Giants is I still don't really believe that they're what are they 3-1 right now? I think they're 3-1. I feel like that. I don't know. They've had some close games. Packers also are. I feel like they're finding their identity. We'll talk about that more in a minute, but this is close. I'm gonna just for the sake of a little entertainment, I'm gonna go Packers. Well, just so we can get these overall scores, we can get some bets going, and we can get some people fired up.
Oh wait, I forgot. I added this segment last week. Sorry to interrupt you, but this is a breaking news alert. I added this segment last week, but obviously the podcast never got recorded. But you don't think you're getting away with it. But we have the first installment of Mark's Fantasy Football Minute coming up at the end of this episode.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep. Just 1 minute. Maybe someday down the line you guys can send Mark your questions, your fantasy football questions. Let me remind you. This kid doesn't know very much about fantasy football, just like the rest of us.
Nope.
That's the whole point. He's going to tell you his startums and his situms this week. That comes later, so if you're looking forward to that, stay tuned.
Yeah.
I see your note here. This is what made me think of that. But you called Daniel Jones Danny Jones. Is Danny Jones the guy? Now, if he was going by Danny Jones, hands down, he's the guy. Like, if I come out of the locker room,
It might be
I'm
the
like, my
Daniel
guy,
that's
Danny Jones. Danny Jones at quarterback. That's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel, I'm like, this dude, he
Mm,
liked he liked algebra. He was pretty good at pre-calc.
yeah.
He was a
See,
math
my
guy.
my middle name is Daniel, so whenever I hear Daniel, like especially like growing up, your mother's like Mark Daniel. I'm like, what? So I just don't. Daniel's not for me. That's why I just wrote Danny. I'm like,
Danny Jones,
yeah.
definitely
He
the guy.
because he's fired up. He might not be the best quarterback. We'll talk about that in a second, but he likes running on his feet when he can't make shit happen. He said, "All right, if you're not going to do it, then I'm going to do it." But yeah, Danny Jones way better than Daniel Jones. I mean, this isn't formal. We're trying to you're trying to be the guy.
Yeah,
So let's
right.
let's see it. But as far as
If he grew out a mustache and he was Danny Jones, bro, I think I would get a Giants jersey.
it just says Danny on the back.
Yeah.
It just says Danny.
No, it says
But no,
DJ.
DJ. So, in all honesty, to the question was, is Daniel Jones the guy for New York? And I think that everyone can see that he's not. I think that the way that they play him, the way that they let him play, I think that it kind of shows that, when you think about someone running, unless they're Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray or someone like that, think about like Mac Jones. Um, it's like slide, dive, whatever. But they let him do whatever the hell he wants, really. And when Tyrod came in, it was the same thing. I don't know if they necessarily believe in him. I think he might be good for now, for them. I think they'll probably be drafting, excuse me, or at least trading, maybe trading for a veteran or trading for someone to give some competition to him. And
I think
it's
they'll be
weird.
drafting. I think they'll be drafting another
It's
guy
weird to
soon.
say this when they're 3-1, but like I said earlier, I don't know if I necessarily believe in their 3-1,
Yeah.
and that's why I took the Packers. I think that the Packers might give them a reality check.
Yeah. I I like the Packers in the game, but I like the Giants to cover. I think maybe the Packers win by like a field goal. It's in London, so freaky shit happens in London.
If they
Maybe like
drink
a
a lot.
last minute touchdown where they don't kick the field goal, so they
Yeah.
win by 6, and then the
Aaron Ro-
Giants still
Aaron
cover.
Rodgers
So
Aaron Rodgers scores a touchdown and then shotguns a beer that someone throws him from the stands. They get down in London, bro. You know how it goes.
seen weirder shit. All
Oh
right.
yeah.
So the next game is the
No,
Steelers.
don't go. No, we got other questions, bro. No, we got other
What?
questions.
Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, just go through them quick.
When are they coming? Can you hold them, please? I will.
Stand by. Stand by.
All right.
All right, yeah,
But
good.
we don't
But
need to
let's
talk
go.
for 10 minutes on each game, though. It's
No,
just-
we'll make the answers quick.
Hold on, I gotta write timestamps down.
You're good. But no, I understand. You don't want to spend 2 hours. I mean, unless you do want to spend 2 hours, I don't know. But we can. I can talk more in depth, or I can just go through each with like a simple, fast question answer. It's up to you.
Yeah. All right.
Maybe tonight, since you guys got the new puppy and your mom's coming, we'll go quick, and
Yeah.
then next week, okay, we'll do that.
All right.
But yeah, go through each question, and I'll be quick. I promise.
Every time you talk, I gotta change the timestamp. You ready? All right. So the questions I see here is Aaron Rodgers clicking with his new receivers. Is Aaron Rodgers clicking with his new receivers? I'll ask you that.
I mean, they're winning, so it might not be what you're used to, and I think it's going to take a little time for him to trust them, especially with who do you have? Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb.
Yeah, he
Or
still
he
has
still has
Randall
Randall
Cobb,
Cobb.
and they're kind of
Yeah.
clicking. But now he's
I
got.
think
Oh, geez, what's that dude's name?
Dobbs. No, Dobbs is, and then there's the other guy. I forget his name.
Yeah, I can't. The big guy. It starts with an L.
Yeah, I can't think of it. I know that those two are battling for the number one spot right now. But it's going to take a little bit for him to get trust in them, but I think it's definitely happening. I mean, he's winning games. So once he does have trust in them and, they learn what plays work and expand on that, I think it can happen.
Yeah.
The next question that I'll reflect on is is it his last year? I think it's probably Aaron's last year. I don't know if he's on contract. I did not check. but just the way I hear him talking in social media, I think that it might be.
Yep, and I was thinking of Alan Lazard.
Yes, that's his name. Yep,
Alan
you're right.
Lazard, who I
I saw
think
something
they're
today.
starting to build some chemistry together too. Those two.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron's got to think they're young guys. He's so used to having veterans that he's been throwing to for friggin' 7 years. Like it's going to take a little bit, but I think it's working. I thought it was going to be a lot worse than it is. I think it's developing.
All right, and then my answer to that question would be that I also think it's his last year. It's either this year or next year, and I don't think him and Tom Brady want to walk away at the same time. I think one of them wants satisfaction of knowing he went longer than the other. Even though Aaron Rodgers is going to look back and be like, "Oh, great, I played longer than him. I still fucking didn't do anything compared to him."
Oh yeah,
But
I'm with you.
Okay, next game. Steelers Bills. The line on this is
-14, or it was 13.5, but I put
no,
14.
I know. I'm just getting a live one. A live one is -14. And I will.
Oh, is it 14?
Yeah, it is. It's Buffalo -14, and I will.
Okay, let me take this one real quick because there was an article I saw or an interview that I saw that Josh Allen, he was talking about Stefon Diggs, and he said that Stefon Diggs is the best wide receiver in football of all the league. So I said, all right, let me take it upon myself to look up who's leading and receiving for the NFL. Diggs is number 3 on the receiving list behind Tyreek Hill and Sutton of Denver, but he has an extra game because they played on Thursday night. So 4th on the list is A.J. Brown. So I wanted to have a conversation real quick just about is Diggs the best wide receiver in the NFL? What do you think, Scott?
I do by a long shot.
You do.
I do. Well, I think he's the best, but I think there's two people that are right next to him, and they're both very young. So I think he's got the maturity advantage in my book. It's him, and then it's Jamar Chase, and what's that other kid's name?
Yeah, Jamar Chase. The way he runs, bro, and like that play he had the other night.
Jamar
No, it
Chase
wasn't him.
and Jalen Waddle. That's the other one.
Who was the guy on the 49ers I'm thinking of? That play he had where he literally, like, no one fucking tackled him. But yeah, Deebo Samuel. Oh, that play was just insane.
That was nice.
I still think that Tyreek Hill is the best wide receiver in the league, just the fact of pure speed and skill. Diggs, I think that Diggs is arguably better just because I feel like he's more versatile than him. He runs routes better. He can cut and, like, juke you out. But Tyreek Hill is more of like, okay, let's have this guy block the defender, and I'm gonna get loose, and I'm gonna be down the field, and I'm gonna score. Yeah. So the next thing is, one thing I will say is that within these weeks, Scott and I are going to start doing, who we think the top 5 running backs are, top 5 wide receivers, or kind of look at who the top of each are, and do we think they're still going to be in those positions by the end of the season. But that'll be coming forward. The last thing that I have to say is, do you think the Bills are going to be able to cover this 14 spread?
Yes, I'm taking the Bills plus 14. I think the Bills are sick and tired of the bullshit. They've had a couple of rough games, and Josh Allen is going to come out and show you why they call him the fucking big dick machine. He's going to be on one. Better watch out. And after watching this game this week, you're going to be like, oh, that's right. The Bills are favored to win the Super Bowl. That's why. Yeah. That's
I agree.
my thoughts.
I agree. I think the Bills, just with what they've had going on, like with their loss and everything, I think that they want to make a statement, and I think that the Steelers are going to be a punching bag, but you never know.
You never
Let's
know.
just wait and see.
That's
why the
Sunday.
NFL is a beautiful thing.
But the game is at Orchard Park. I think it's going to be a tough outing for the Steelers. That I can tell you.
Hold on to your fucking panties.
All right. Do you have anything else you want to say about this game?
I think that if the Bills don't start off quick, then it's not going to happen. And there's no way it's going to be like a 21-0 score in the second half. But yeah, that's it.
Hey, I heard this stat. I cannot remember where I heard it, but it might have been part of my take. but if it is, I got to give them credit because I did not come up with the stat on my own, but it is the Steelers have a rookie quarterback starting against the number one pass defense in the league. The last rookie quarterback to beat the number one pass defense in the league. Who was it?
Yeah. Oh wait, say that one more time. The rookie quarterback beating the number one pass
defense in the league. Who was the last person to do it?
It's a trick question. So if it's a trick question, it can't be Roethlisberger because that would be the go-to.
It's Ben Roethlisberger, dude.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you said trick question.
It's like a passing of the torch. If Kenny Pickett goes out there and lights up the Bills.
Yeah. One thing I will say too is I wrote this outline for the NFL and there was a lot of things I wanted to include in it, but at the same time we have so many weeks left that I don't want to include everything because obviously we could have talked about Pickett, but I want to see how he does this week, and then he could be on next week's outline. So without spending 5 hours on the NFL, I narrowed it down to important questions for the specific week.
Okay, gotcha. All right, you want to take the next game? Give us the line.
So the next game is the Chargers versus the Browns. The Chargers are favored by 2, which is kind of weird for me, at least. I'm not used to seeing just 2. So the Chargers have the number 1 rated passing offense in the league with Herbert. Obviously, he's a fucking beast. But as you guys know, he had a rib injury. But last week, he had his best game of the season. So it's hard to say how much this rib injury is actually affecting him. Everyone could say, "Oh, I've had rib injuries before," and it's so hard to recover from. But then he comes out and he has his best game of the season. So Scott, what I'll ask you is, do you think that that's going to have some effect on how he plays this week, or do you think that it's all good because he had a great game last week?
I feel like Herbert is beat up a lot, like more times than you know of. And like even last year, I feel like the kid gets fucking smoked, dude. And he's always playing well. So I think Herbert continues to play well even with this sore rib, whatever it is. I'm not.
I don't know. Yeah, I didn't look it up. I don't know if it's like broken or sore or sprained or what the hell exactly the injury is. Yeah, bruised. Yeah. So I don't know, but I mean, to come out and everyone's doubting you to even start, and then you have your best game of the season, pretty impressive. But maybe him doing that made it even more sore. So come in this week, he might be like holding it and throwing it hurts more. I don't know. We'll see. The next question is for the Browns to win. Obviously, the spread's close, so the bettors, the people who make the bets, think it's going to be close. But for them to win, do you think that the Browns need to run Chubb as much as they can, like just get them going if they can, because if they pass, they're not going to win.
Yeah, who else? I mean, that's their rock right now. That's who they're relying on. So yeah, I think it starts with running the ball, but I mean, those receivers need to catch some footballs too.
Yeah, I mean, just like you do with if you have a good wide receiver and then you hand it off to a running back, you need to do the reverse.
Who's out there? Amari Cooper. On the Browns.
No, isn't the Amari on the Raiders, right? Let me Google this. Take me 2 seconds. Hold on.
Just do the Browns depth chart.
Yeah, I got it right there. So wide receivers. Let's see.
Yeah, Amari Cooper, Peoples-Jones, and David Bell.
Was that? Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean,
it's Amari Cooper, bro. I've had him on my fantasy team before. It's just like,
I'm getting Amari Cooper confused with Devontae Adams. That's what happened. That's my fault.
Yeah, he's definitely on the Raiders.
But yeah, I mean, I think there's a possibility to say, is Chubb going to run? You run a quick play action, throw it downfield to him. It is a possibility, but if that's just not.
No, just real quick, the line changed to the Chargers -1.5. So.
Oh yeah, that's why I told you earlier, guys. If our numbers are a little off for the day that we record, which we told you earlier, I was seeing 2 different numbers from the source I was using, so I wasn't sure what to put. But mind you, each one was within 1. Say I put a -7, it was -6 on the other place I was saying. So, yeah. So it is what it is. I think that we both agree that Chubb has to have a big game unless they use him as a distraction if he gets a couple big runs. But I'm going to go Chargers.
Yeah, I took Chargers too. Took Chargers too. And then, okay. Let's move right along here. Texans, Jags. Jags are favored by 7. I think the Jags are fucking for real. I'm taking Jags -7 all day. The Texans stink. And yeah, give me the Jags.
All right. So the Jags have lost 8 in a row against the Texans.
Yeah, I know.
Brandon,
That's why this is time to break the streak.
Yep. Brandon Cooks has 5 100-yard games and 5 TDs in their last 6 meetings against the Jags. I'm just going to keep listing this. You'll see why I'm getting. Damian Pierce, I don't know if I said his name correctly. I believe I did. Is one of 5 rookies to start the first 4 games. Excuse me, I have to move my notes over. The first 4 games with at least 300 yards. The others are Kareem Hunt, Dalvin Cook, Josh Jacobs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So to me, that stat's pretty fucking impressive. So let's go Texans. Let's get our first win. I'm picking the Texans.
All right. You can
Not
ride
that
with the Texans all you want.
I said let's get our first win. I don't like the Texans that much. I just don't like the Jags.
Texans fanboy.
No. I don't like the Texans that much. But against the Jaguars, I do. I just want them to win. I don't think they're going to win, but we'll see. I took them.
All right. What do you have here for that? Oh, you already said all that. Yeah. I don't care about any of those stats. I still like the Jags. I think they're for real this year.
Scott, you want me to just head the rest of this since I wrote it? It might be easier for me.
Go ahead.
All right, so we're going to go down the...
I'm going to take a few games. There's a few games I want to say.
Okay, that's fine. Just butt in and say I'll take this next one.
Right.
So Bears versus Vikings. Vikings are -7.5. Vikings. They're another team just like the Giants that I don't fully believe in yet. It's so early in the season. I think that they I wouldn't say crumble, but I think they're going to get a reality check. Might not be this game. So Fields only has 34 completions for the season. He is by far amongst all the starting QBs, it's lowest. So do you think that they're going to give Fields a chance to kind of let him loose and throw more?
Well, first off, I am taking the... Oh, hold on, I got a call. All right, so before we move any further, I just wanted to... Anyone that's made it this far, thank you for listening. If you couldn't already tell, the episode gets a little wonky from here on out. My dad called me, and he had some news that he wanted to give me. So he came by. And I said, hey, you want to stay and hang out for the rest of the pod? So he stayed. He hung out for the rest of the pod. And this is the result. This is me, Mark, and my father doing the podcast. Now, I will say before we get into this, if this isn't for you, I get it. But this right here is, in a nutshell, what we want Wet Whistles to be. This is spur of the moment. My dad coming home from a wedding, drunk. He wants to come on the pod, so we have him on the pod, and it is a freaking great time. Obviously, we didn't get to talk about as much stuff that we wanted to talk about this week due to that, but it's all right because the content came out great. I think it came out great. So, again, anyone listening, thank you so much. Show my dad some love. And yeah, just thanks again. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Wet Whistles, and here's a fire interview.
Did you watch the game tonight?
Which game?
Hockey game?
The Bruins?
Yeah.
Against the Devils? No.
Did they win? Did you see the great G line the other night?
No.
Holy, phenomenal, dude.
I was watching the Mariners game while I was driving home. It's like the playoffs.
I couldn't not begin to tell you that the great, just to check game, the T, it's just David Krejci. There's another kid.
They lost 5-3
tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever. Bergeron, David Krejci, Pasternak and the other kid were like, is that,
Always.
Is that kid sober?
Are you sober? My dad wants to know.
Yes.
He
Oh,
said yes.
We will have a fun night before.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Mark, I didn't tell you today. We found out the wedding. It's open bar for the night before and the day of.
Yeah. So that's just
I'm gonna be
through.
black the fuck out.
We got
So that reminds me too. Is that so? I told you how I was trying to get a room with giant stuff for the night before.
It's like a edit. It's like a camera thing.
Yeah, tell him my daughter's room is behind me, so I don't want people.
Yeah, behind him there's a
nice
crib.
copycat there, buddy.
Behind him there's a crib and
Yeah.
and
I get it.
yeah.
Tell him, welcome to the box when we fall in.
Oh, he can hear you.
Yeah.
This is the microphone.
Oh, I can hear. Yeah, I can hear you. You can't hear me, but that's okay.
All right, what game were we talking about before you left, or I left? The Texans and the Jaguars?
No.
So what we
picked the
do is
Jets.
we go through and we pick, like we're doing like bets. Like, so,
On this weekend's games.
yeah, so the last bet we just did was the Bears and the Vikings. The Vikings are favored by -7.5, so I took the Bears as the underdogs at +7.5. So
the
now,
next game is Tennessee.
no, so the next game is, what are we doing next, Mark?
No,
The
so
Lions game?
what I have written down, what we did last, is the Texans. So you probably wrote the Vikings down before we were actually done with the Vikings. So I said
Oh, no, I
just
think
restart that.
yeah. So now we're doing the Bears and the Vikings. That's the one we're on.
So I just say we. Well, if he wants to listen, then just go live on Twitch and he can listen to it that way. But that's up to you. But I say we just start the Bears and Vikings completely over.
Yeah, let's do that. Go ahead.
All right. So we just finished the Texans and the Jaguars. We are moving on to the Bears and the Vikings. The Vikings are -7.5.
Is that weak?
Now, Vikings. They're just like the Giants. I feel like they are not a legit team, but going forward, I feel like we will see the true colors of the Vikings. I'm not going to say they're going to lose a bunch of games in a row, but they're definitely not going to have 11-6 or whatever. It's not going to be like that. I feel like they're going to start losing 100%. Some stats that I wrote down that are definitely very concerning is that Fields has 34 completions, which is like by far the least among all starting quarterbacks. So my question for you, Scott, is do you think that they're going to let Fields loose? Are they going to let him throw some balls or what?
Yeah, what are you drinking? Tea?
No, this is Red Bull vodka, a little different.
Red Bull vodka. All right, so do I think that they're going to let Fields run all over the place? I do not. I don't think that's...
No, not run all over the place. Just throw
Throw all over the place? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I don't think I think they do cover the spread. I do not think it's on the ground. I think it's in the air. I think Fields has a field day, if you will, by throwing to his receivers. I think
with 34 completions on the year, you think he's going to come out and throw all over the field?
The exact reason you don't think so is why the NFL is what the NFL is, and Fields is going to come out and throw, I'm going to say, 28 or more passes.
Okay. Yeah. No. I mean, like it would make sense for them to get him seasoned with 4 games. Get him going, and then just let him loose. My next question for you is the Bears have 2 rookie starters in their secondary. So obviously Justin Jefferson is one of the best receivers in the league. Do you think that they're going to be able to stop him?
Say the question again. Sorry, when the hosts aren't listening.
No, you're good. Just so you guys know, his dad's there, so he's watching.
They're going to see it.
Oh yeah, they'll see. But so my next question was: the Bears have 2 rookie starters in their secondary. So can they stop Justin Jefferson, or are they going to slack, or are they going to step up and make something happen?
I think it's going to be, like I said, I think Fields gets it done in the air, and I think so does Kirk Cousins. I think that the defenses, I mean, I'm biased. I got the Bears defense on my fantasy team, so I hope they step up, but I don't think this is going to be a defensive game. I think you're going to be like, holy shit. Like, Kirk Cousins looks like a beast, which he isn't.
Not at all.
So, yeah, I think that both teams are going to get it done through the air. I think this is like a 35-30 game.
All right, that's fair. Who are you picking? You picking the Bears or the Vikings?
Yeah, I got the Bears +7.5.
All right, I got the Vikings. That's another one. That's the Vikings. I picked the Vikings, so that's another one. Tell your dad that for the 1 week the week before that we started, we're both 5-8. So this week's is like a
Yeah,
deciding factor.
last week we did when we did the picks. We both went 5-8.
Is this fantasy league?
No, these are the real games.
Then
This is
you need
like
to bring your brother into it because he will annihilate the 2 years just for the shit. 15-year-old.
Hey, I'm ready.
he can
All
go
right,
on whenever
so-
he wants. I'm putting
bring him on.
I don't know if I
Because
told the
kid's
pod
got
this
some
yet.
Fucking theories that is like, dude, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, you come up with this as a little packhead playing on Fortnite? What the fuck?
Oh my
what was I gonna say?
God.
I'm getting the futon that's out in the living room.
I honestly think that he needs to be brought into it because he would love having it.
We'll bring
Oh yeah,
He would
yeah.
truly love sitting
Right.
on the. He needs to have it. At
Mm-hmm.
13-year-old, 13, you know where it is. So you
Oh,
choose. You two choose. If it's 2 years in
Hey,
him,
Hey, if he's 13, we need to be
knows a lot.
talking more about cheerleaders and not the actual
he
game.
blows
Yeah.
my mind. I'm like,
But
wait a second,
what I was
where does
saying
this
is-
come from?
We're getting a new couch out there, and I'm bringing the futon in here. And I figured one of these times we could have a guest on. I could bring him on the couch,
Yeah,
and he can
it's him.
have a seat on the couch
Yeah.
and do an interview.
My nephew knows more about
TikTok
football than I
videos
do, and he's
is
12.
Too many TikTok videos, my dad said. All right, next game, Mark. Call it out.
All right, so as everyone knows, this podcast, the two hosts are best friends in real life, and our game is, or our team is the Patriots. Our team is the Patriots, and the Patriots are favored -3. So my question for you first, Scott, is can the Pats defense stop the highest scoring? So the Lions, the highest scoring offense in the league, they're scoring like 35 points per game. Now, let me tell you one stat before you answer that: is that Matthew Judon is one of 3 players with a sack in each 4 games. So in each of the first 4 games, one of their players, Judon, has a sack. So do you think that they can pressure? Do you think they can pressure Goff and limit their scoring?
I do. I think that the Patriots defense, if you couldn't tell by last week against Aaron Rodgers, that's what they build everything off of, is that defense. And like to put Bailey Zappe out there and have him play the way he did, you have to have a good defense. Because if Bailey Zappe's like, oh, holy shit, that was a long drive, coach, I need a 5-minute break. He's like, all right, well, and like the defense gets scored on, and he's like, all right, well now we're down 14. You got to get back out there, bud. And then he's like, oh, and then he goes like, no, but that's not what was happening. They're like, oh, they just stopped him on 1 down, and now you go back out there with good field position. That is huge for a rookie because, as you could see, he almost beat Aaron Rodgers in his debut. I think lightning is going to strike twice, and Bailey Zappe is the proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bailey Zappe, that was my next question is what do we think about Bailey Zappe? And we're going to go into a lot more detail than we normally do just because we're Pats fans. But as far as Zappe, had a great year, or great game, last game, brought it to OT, which we never thought in a million years that was going to happen. Not at all did we think that was going to happen. And you got to think that Zappe, he didn't have a week to prepare. He didn't have 2 weeks to prepare. He didn't have a month to prepare. They literally told him, hey, bud, come over here, put your fucking pads on. You're going right in. He had 2 minutes to prepare. And the fact that he did what he did, no, it wasn't anything special. It really wasn't. It wasn't, let's write home. He's the starting quarterback. But, now that he's had a week to prepare, they can get a game plan down. I think that if he starts doing well and he starts winning, I think that the conversation with Mac Jones versus him could be something serious, 100%. We will see. So I'm taking the Pats as well, but the last thing I'll ask you, Scott, is that Bill did an interview about the last thing I'll ask you, Scott, is that the Lions, not the Lions, Bill got a question and he said, oh, everyone knows that Matt Patricia or Joe Judge is calling the plays, but they asked him about the offensive coordinator who's responsible for the offense. They asked him all that, and he's like, I don't know if you guys want to get a notepad out and fucking take notes. Like, whenever you guys ask about the offense, I'm responsible for the offense. Don't ask about Patricia. Don't ask about anyone. But what do you think about that? Do you think that he doesn't want Patricia or Judge, whoever it may be, to get too much flack from the media and kind of waver the way that they're doing the offense? Or do you really think that Bill has an overview and he's really running the offense? Like, what do you think this whole thing is? Because Bill is Bill. Bill's always going to be crazy with the media, but for the fact that he can't claim an offensive coordinator is a little bit crazy.
Yeah, I think Bill is the offensive coordinator. I think Bill is the defensive coordinator. I think that these people that are there right now are placeholders, which is like
Helping Bill.
yeah. I mean, it's one thing if we were saying like if this was Bill like the year that Tom Brady left, but now this is the Bill that has been coaching a new quarterback. He
drafted two. He drafted two, and now he's coaching the two. So
yeah. And now he's a couple of years removed from Tom Brady, and he doesn't have much to show for it. So to be like acting this way about coaches, I think it's more like nut up or shut up, buddy. It's like let's win some games and have a winning season before we start being cocky with the coaching decisions.
Dude, I said something the other day.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. My dad just said Bill's done.
Bill's done? Yeah. So, I mean, I understand the whole thing about being the head coach, and you want to be able to take like the flack for your coaches and everything. But at the same time, if Joe Judge or Matt Patricia know that if they fuck up, then it's just going to go on Bill and it's just Bill's fault, then they're going to make careless decisions. Having that weight on their back and saying, okay, this person's running the offense, having the critics behind them is actually going to motivate them, I think, in some cases. Unless that he thinks that like they're weak-minded, I don't fucking know. But we'll move on to the next game. We'll see what happens. We both picked the Pats. Next game, Scott, do you want to take it or do you want me to do it?
I'll do the next one, but I was gonna say I didn't take the Patriots -3. I'm taking the Lions +3 on that.
I think the Patriots.
Okay. Yeah, I took Pats. I took that.
I think the Patriots win 10 now.
Oh,
Really?
these records are gonna switch up quick.
My dad said the Patriots are gonna win by 10.
10 points.
Yeah. All right, I see it.
All right, yeah, I'll take the next game. So the next game, so now my dad can get an idea of what you've been doing because he can't hear you. He's just watching you. So this is what Mark's been doing. So the next game,
we'll figure it out.
The next game is Seahawks Saints. Saints are favored -5. This game is. Where is this game?
It's at Saints. The second team. The second team is the one at home.
Oh, okay.
The second. Yeah.
All right, I got you. So yeah, so who's favored? Saints -5 at home. They're 1-3. Give me the Seahawks on that. Geno Smith, baby.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Geno Smith.
All right, and then the Saints have not had a losing record since drafting Alvin Kamara in 2017. You want my honest opinion, dude? I think he missed fucking football last week for a court date, and I fucking played him, and they were in London, and I didn't wake up early enough to take him out, so fuck Kamara. But no, in all honesty, that's because a good running back can completely change the dynamic of a team. So to have Kamara, they also had Drew Brees a couple of those years, so it'd be like
one of the best quarterbacks in our fucking.
It'd be like saying the Patriots with Tom Brady didn't have a losing record for how many years? It's like it's Drew Brees.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah,
call it what you will.
I'm with you.
I think this is the year that the Saints have a losing record. In my opinion.
So yeah, the Saints are also leading the league in turnovers. So that doesn't help their shitty offense that's going on right now. Geno Smith is actually on pace for a record right now, and he's completing 77% of his passes, which is the highest in NFL history with a minimum of 125 attempts, which is crazy. I don't think Geno's that good. Maybe he's just getting lucky. I don't know. I think that Geno is also so. There's 3 teams I said are going to have a wide awakening while this fucking season goes on, and I think the Seahawks is one. Geno is having a great season so far. Don't get me wrong, but can he keep it up? I don't think so.
I like it. Let's see here. And I'm sure everybody knows, but I'm reading Mark's notes, so hey, he did a good job of the notes. They're easy to read. It's just that I didn't write them, so
you should write in the background, so it's good.
Yeah. They are where is it? They are leading the league in turnovers. Are they actually? That's crazy.
Yeah, they are. No, everything I put, I got from ESPN.
Everything everything I put is true. I promise.
You sure
You,
dude?
put, you should have put a couple fake facts in there and been like,
No.
I don't know, is that
Satin fucking calendar that tells me
Yeah, Drew Blood Cells coming in.
Satin does not tell me shit.
all right? And then do we
No, I
think,
already covered all that for the Seahawks Saints. So move on to the Dolphins and Jets.
I think long story short. On
Oh,
the
yeah.
Seahawks,
Okay, you're covering your opinion. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Because I went through that all.
It's
My
all
fault.
right.
I didn't
It's
know
all
that's what we're doing.
I think long story short on the Seahawks is, I think that they're one of they're like remember the Bridgie Celtics? They like couldn't get over the hump. They couldn't win anything, but they were always like the 4th or 5th seed, and they were always winning. I think that's the Seahawks this year. I think that they'll beat the bad teams, they'll lose to the good teams, and they'll be right in the middle of the pack.
And they have a chance of beating a couple of good teams too.
Yeah, and I think the Saints are a bad team, so the Seahawks should win. So give me the give me the Saints the Seahawks +5.
I got the Saints. Let's get this spicy, bro. These bets aren't going to be good if we're neck and neck. Dolphins versus Jets. The Dolphins are -3.5. Obviously, we know what happened with their quarterback. That we would have talked about that last weekend, but that shit is long gone. All we got to say is the Dolphins need to make a change. The concussion protocol over there is not right. I'm glad they did what they did, and I hope that he gets the supervision that he needs. But Teddy Bridgewater is starting this game. The Dolphins are looking for their 500th career win or franchise win. They're coming off a loss last week. They have a great team. They just need Teddy Bridgewater to win, or to play well rather. I think that Teddy has enough in him, and they're going to game plan around him enough to win this game. Now, it might be messy. It's probably going to be messy, but with how smart that I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the Dolphins head coach, he's new. He's good.
McCarthy? Mike McCarthy?
No, it's not Mike McCarthy. I forget his name.
Mike McDaniels?
Nope.
Look it up. It might be something like that. I just don't want to say it wrong on the pod because that's why I'm always fact checking everything. But that man is innovative. He reminds me of like Josh McDaniels as an offensive coordinator, but he's a head coach. He's trying to change everything around. He's doing very well. Mike McDaniels, yeah. He's doing what he needs to do. I think that he can make Teddy look good, and that's all I'll say. I think the Dolphins are going to take this. I'll talk about Zach Wilson after you answer this one, Scott.
What was the question?
So the question is just Teddy Bridgewater is going for the 500th win of the Dolphins franchise. They're coming off of a loss. Can he actually lead them to a 4-1 start? And can he do well and win the game?
I have always been a big Teddy Bridgewater fan. Teddy B.
I wrote that in the notes.
Absolutely think he gets it done. Absolutely. There's so much talent around him. Fuck Zach Wilson. Fuck the Jets. Let's go Dolphins. Dolphins 3.5.
Buddy.
We're looking at Zach. He doesn't want to get into Zach Wilson, but he had a mean gritty. We'll talk about Zach Wilson next week.
Yeah, he had a mean gritty, and he's got that dog in him. You know,
he does have
he
that
banged
dog
his
in him.
mom's friend.
Yeah, he was banging milfs. We love that. We support that here on Wet Whistles. All right, next game. Falcons versus Bucks. Bucks are -10. I literally wrote this word for word. The elephant in the room. Everyone knows it with the Bucks. Tom Brady getting divorced from Giselle. That is very, very bad. We like Giselle here, so if she wants to come on, we're welcome. But no, you know what? We love Tom Brady. In my old department, we're from New England, so we grew up. Tom Brady in 2001. I was 8 or 9 years old. He won his first Super Bowl. Then when I was 21, he won his next one. I watched it in the bar, and then I had parties for his next ones that he won. I love Tom Brady. When he walked into my apartment, I had a big picture of him. Giselle, go fuck yourself. No, I'm joking. I'm just joking. But with Tom having so much stuff going on in the media and maybe at home, who knows if it's true. Scott, do you think that it will affect his play?
I don't think it will affect his play. In fact, I think it's the opposite. I think it's the age-old story. Tom Brady's got something going on in his personal life, so he's going to come out and show you all
Stop
he's the
talking.
fucking
Yeah.
goat.
Stop talking about
Stop
it. I'll
talking
show
about
you
my
what the fuck
personal
matters
life.
to me.
Here's 5 touchdowns. You guys can
Yep.
all put a sock in it.
Shut
I'm
the
Tom
fuck up.
Brady.
Yeah.
That's what
Yep.
it's gonna be.
100%.
Testicles.
So one big stat that I found is that Tom Brady in his whole career has never once lost to the Falcons. He is 10-0 in his career. He's never lost to the Falcons ever before, which is fucking crazy. One thing I'll ask you about this game, Scott, is that the Bucs defense they let up 189 rushing yards last week against the Chiefs. The Falcons are 4th in the league with their rushing rushing for their offense. So do you think that the Falcons will be able to run it down their throat and get some points and possibly beat the Bucs?
I think the Falcons just lost Cordero, so they're already struggling in the health department at the run game. No, I don't think the Falcons have any luck today. I think it's the age-old story. Go take a look at the teams that have never beaten Tom Brady. The Falcons are on that list, and it's not about to start tomorrow. The Falcons they're not beating Tom Brady.
And the fact the Bucs just came off a loss against the Chiefs. Well, he thinks the Falcons are gonna win.
Yeah, my dad said $100. Falcons are gonna beat Tom Brady.
Shake his hand. Shake his
He
hand.
said, shake his hand. Shake his.
No way. They just
Oh,
lost to
man.
the Chiefs. Tom's coming out firing, 100%.
Yeah, Tom hasn't lost 3 games in a row in his entire career.
Tom might be older than your dad.
2.
2.
Tom Brady hasn't lost 3 games in a row in his entire career. And as we would go on to learn, Tom Brady still hasn't lost 3 games in his entire career. But as you guys can see, we ran into some things. Time got cut a little short. But that's what this is all about. This is all about just having fun, being a family. You know, as time goes on, things are going to get a little more, we're going to go the full distance regardless. So 2-3 hours, whatever it may be. We're just still getting to that point. So again, if you made it this far, thank you guys for listening. I hope you had as much fun as I did and Mark did recording that. As you can see, a lot of laughs. That's what you can come to expect around here. But yeah, I'm going to let the outro roll, and we'll see you guys next week for another lovely episode. Thank you again for listening.